I started my Etsy print-on-demand store back in 2021, and since then, I am just $3K from hitting 1 million in revenue. I quit my 9-to-5 less than 1 year after starting, and starting in 2022, I started sharing tips on TikTok and then my YouTube channel last year, helping other students get to where I've been with my print-on-demand store. And I've done many videos on designing niche research, but I haven't exactly done how to get started as a brand new beginner. So today we're gonna do that in 10 minutes. I lied, I actually couldn't do 10 minutes, so this is 15 minutes with me speaking really fast. So today we're going to open our Etsy store, our Printify store, connect them, create our branding, pick our first product, pick our first niche, create our first product, and then we're going to list it and create our first print-on-demand listing from Printify into Etsy. So first, quickly, what is print-on-demand? Print-on-demand is when you create designs for a product, but you have a supplier who print and ships that product for you. So my favorite supplier is Printify. They have tons of products. You can do t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, magnets, candles. There's thousands of products on here that you create the design for. And when you get a sale, they will print and ship it to your customer. So quickly, you need to first open up an Etsy store and then open up your Etsy store account. You create your Etsy account first, and then you open up your store. If you don't know your niche or your product yet, you can just pick any name. When I first started, it was my middle name plus a word like apparel or design or something a little bit more vague that still has to kind of do with what you're going to be selling. But don't worry, you're able to switch this later on. So you can just pick a more generic name right now anyway. If I couldn't think of one, I would probably just name it after my cat, Mr. Leo here, plus apparel, Leo Apparel. Etsy will ask you to make a listing before you open up your shop. Just put in some photos that you might use later, put in your SEO, anything, it doesn't matter. We're gonna delete this later because we're actually not gonna use this listing, but we do need to set it up for Etsy's purposes. Once you have your store, we need to create our branding, and we want our banner and our logo to match as much as possible. But before we go into designing our banner and our logo, let's first think of the product that we want to sell. And this is something that can be super overwhelming if you're just starting. Because if you just look at the products that Printify has to offer, you might be overwhelmed because you don't know what to offer because there's so many different things. From my experience, the best thing to sell is the things that you use and that you like yourself. Desk mats do really well on Etsy. I am not a gamer. I've never even used a desk mat. I probably should not be making designs for that. While candles do really well on Etsy, I'm not a candle person. I don't buy candles, I'm gifted candles, so it's not gonna be a product that I should do. I even started my store with just t-shirts, but I've never bought a graphic t-shirt in my life. I love sweatshirts, but I hate hoodies. I love crew neck sweatshirts. So that's then what I moved my store to. And since moving to a product that I actually enjoy buying myself, it has made the designing and the listing process so much better. I also absolutely love tote bags. I have about 15 different tote bags at home because in Canada, we're not allowed to have shopping bags, so we have to use tote bags. So I would go to Printify and maybe pick a few items that you actually think that you like. And then before we commit to any of them, we're gonna actually make sure they sell on Etsy because not every single product sells, and sometimes some Printify products are pretty expensive. So we're just gonna have a few different options. So you're gonna check pricing first, and then you're also gonna type it into Etsy if that's where you plan to sell. And you want to make sure that there are best sellers within this product. You can also use a tool like eRank, and you can type in what product you plan to sell, and we can actually see how many searches a month they get versus how much competition. So tote bags have a bunch of searches, and if we scroll down further, another thing that I'm looking for is that underneath here, there are what I call sub-niches, which are things like bridesmaids tote bag, nurse tote bag. We have things like sports tote bag. So we have niches that we can work within this product. Once you've picked a product that is on Printify that you love and that you could see yourself making, that you would order yourself, you see that the pricing is decent. So there's nothing with like a $25 shipping fee, which sometimes there can be, and that it actually sells on Etsy, we're going to pick one product to work with. If we choose to start our store with blankets, I'm not going to be offering candles, blankets, t-shirts, coffee. Unfortunately, this is something that a lot of beginners do because it's the shiny object syndrome, and I'm even faced with this all the time. I always want to add in new products. But as a beginner, it's really, really hard to get good at something when you're stretching yourself so thin. By picking one product, you're going to get better at finding the best mockups for that and you're not spending extra money. You're gonna be better at research for it. You're gonna get better at designing versus if you keep switching gears, you're always going back to the learning phase. So now that we've picked our product, now we can start focusing on our banner and logo. And the fastest and easiest way to do this is to start from a template. If you look up Etsy banner on Canva, there is hundreds of different banners that you can use for your store. Say I did love candles and I was making a candle store. Here's a template that could do really well. I can switch it up to be more of my own. I'd probably add in some of my own photos, which you might not have yet, so you can just use this, and then when you have better photos, plug them in, but you can change this to your name here. Mine's my little sleeping cat over here. And then custom, funny candles, whatever you really want to put. I'm gonna remove this here. And then to make sure that my banner and my logo match, I'm actually just going to use this right here as my logo because I want my banner and logo to match for branding purposes. So for example, this is what the logo would look like after. Now coming into Etsy, we're gonna study what's doing well within candles. So what I'm gonna do is, this is actually a trick to find bestsellers. We're gonna just go to all filters here. We're gonna turn on star seller, and then in the URL at the top of your screen, you're gonna see is_star_seller. And we're gonna remove the word star and put best. And that will now give us this tag here, which is the bestseller tag. And now we're able to see candles that have popular now, they're Etsy's pick. They're again, popular now. And if we click into them, a lot of them are gonna be bestsellers as well. This can help you find the bestsellers, but the way to find what's actually selling the best, if you're willing to pay for a tool, is Everbee, where you're able to sort all of the listings for candles by their monthly sales, and you can see exactly what's doing well for this product. So now I've gone through a lot of the bestsellers in candles, and I've noticed a lot of them are heavily just text-based. Some of them have this box around them, but it's pretty much just funny text doing well with candles. When doing research, you want to be taking in what colors are doing well. Is it text-based? Is it graphic-based? Is it embroidered products doing well? What type of text is doing well? Is it inspirational? Is it funny? And taking notes on what type of things do well on this product. And now keeping that in mind, I want to pick my niche. And the best way to start, like we did our product, is to start with what you know and what you like. By starting from a place of interest, this is going to be more fun for you, more long lasting, and you know all the inside jokes to this niche so you can stick out from the competition. And then you can validate that this niche works with this product by using tools like eRank or Google Trends. So I looked up book candle and I can see that we're getting searches and the competition is pretty low. Or if you don't have a tool like eRank, you can use the free Google Trends, type in your product. I put book candle, United States in the past 12 months, and I can see how many searches this is getting. And as long as it's not at zero, there's a good chance you're going to be found because Etsy shows up on Google. So now we have our validated product and we're starting with a niche. And you can test many different niches in your store. You do not need to stick with one, especially because we're specializing in product here. Another quick tip is if you want to do more difficult designs, more complicated designs, like for t-shirts or sweatshirts, I highly recommend starting from Kittle templates, especially if you have not been a designer before. It's a great place to start, and they already have templates laid out for you. So here's my design. I picked my product again. We did our product research to base our design on that, and then we picked a brand new niche to apply this to, and I did something funny that was similar to other ones that were doing really well. I just changed up the text and created a new idea for my own. So now whether you designed on Kittle or Canva, you're gonna save this file as a PNG file, and now we're going to go back to Printify. First, we actually need to hook up your Printify to your Etsy. So you're gonna create your Printify account, and then it's gonna ask you to add a sales channel, and you'll get to a page that looks like this, and you're just gonna scroll down and we're gonna connect to Etsy, and you're gonna give it permission to connect to your Etsy store. Now that Printify and Etsy are connected together, meaning they can speak together, we're gonna create our product in Printify, not in Etsy. So we're gonna go find the product we want to sell. I wanted to do candles. I'm going to select the candle that I want to use, and then I'm going to scroll down and I'm gonna hit start designing. And then using the upload here, we're going to bring in our file. If you need help with file sizing, for shirts, usually it's pretty easy. I keep them at 5,000 by 5,000. But if it's something specific like this, right here, it gives you the print area 900 by 600. So you can go readjust your file file to be that size. And now on Printify, I'm gonna hit select variants, and I can select what other variants there are. So this one has different scents. Sometimes this might be different colors, it might be different sizes, but you can go and turn on whichever ones you would like and then save product. And then going down, you're able to set your title, something you're gonna remember this by. You can set your description, your pricing, but you can also do this all in Etsy. So usually I kind of just do my title in Printify and then I'll do the rest in Etsy. So now you need to edit your Etsy listing. You're going to add in any photos, and I'm going to show you how to create mockups after this. So we're going to create our photos. We're going to add in our title, and our title is going to be filled with keywords that we think people are actually going to type into the Etsy search bar. So maybe funny book candle, because we saw book candle was a good keyword. Reading gift, bookish candle, things along that line, things we think people are actually probably going to type into Etsy. Because we didn't actually make this product, we're going to make sure it stays as another company or person made this. And then we're going to scroll down and we can set anything here. If this was made with organic ingredients, you'll have to check the Printify stats for all of this. And then we can set things like occasion or holiday, if this has to do with an occasion or holiday. If not, just leave them blank. Then you're going to fill in your description. The top of your description is going to use keywords from your title, like buy this reading candle, the perfect gift for book lovers this season. This wonderful smelling candle will work great for your reading binges. Something better than that. I just tried to come up with something at the top of my head. And then you're gonna fill out the rest of your description with things like what the candle is made of, about you, your shipping, returns, anything someone's going to need to know before they buy from you. And then you're going to make sure you have your production partner, which is Printify, and depending who you're using. So for here, we're gonna add a new production partner. We're gonna use Printify. We're gonna hide this so our people don't see this and type in a print shop. And then location, you can find by searching up the print provider's name. So this person was Lumient. I saw this on Printify. So I looked up Lumient USA location, and they're actually located in LA. So I'm gonna put that for my location, and then put they help me print and ship my candles, or something that sounds specific. And then for partnership, we're gonna put, because I don't have the technical ability, what is your role? I design everything myself. Our tags are going to be more keywords we think people are actually going to search into Etsy. Some can be pretty vague, some can be very specific, like reading, candle, bookish, candle, reading, gift. But our design says smells like she's on a reading binge. So maybe I'll put reading binge in there. Reading binge candle, reading binge, funny book candle. And I'm just going to think of all the ways I think someone could search for my product, and if they found it, they would be like, that is what I was looking for. Now we also need some photos, which we talked about for the listing. We can use the one Printify offers, but that's not gonna help you stick out, and they're not really optimized for kind of aesthetics in the way that Etsy is. So I actually like to just buy mockups from Etsy, but I have to make sure that the product they're using matches my Printify product. So looking through these, I'm gonna make sure that the one that I select, I just typed in candle mockup. If you're doing Bella Canvas shirts, you type in Bella Canvas mockup, Gildan 18,000 mockup, Liberty Bags tote bag mockup. So you're gonna find the one that matches, and you can purchase these to make realistic mockups, and you're just gonna lay your file on top. Usually a lot of these will have a description on how to use them. Some are just a Canva, you put your PNG file on top, versus some use things like Photoshop or Photopea to make the product look even more realistic. So you're gonna add these mockup photos as your Etsy photos, and again, you're gonna fill out everything in that Etsy listing. You can also make a shipping profile by going to your Etsy settings, shipping, and creating your own prices for shipping. And then you can assign it to your Etsy listings. But then what's gonna happen is as soon as you get an order on that product, it's going to show up in your Printify orders. And it's going to look like this. We have this here, which is me putting it in a fake order. But if we click into this, we're going to see the product that our customer ordered, and then we can hit submit, or it'll automatically submit within 24 hours to Printify to be printed and shipped. Once this is actually shipped, Printify will speak back to Etsy, mark your order as complete, and they'll even include the tracking in your order, so you don't have to do anything once you actually get an order. And this was supposed to be a 10-minute video, but even trying to speak really fast and fit in as much as I could, I had to make it at least 15 to say all that I wanted to say about how to get started with print on demand for a beginner. But if you want to learn more, I have videos on designing, on niche research, on many different products on my channel that you can check out.